Hello, everybody, and welcome to another live episode of Messi & Co. I'm Ashley here, as always, with my incredible co-host, Gian, and we are happy to be here on this, nope, it's not Monday, Wednesday, previewing the Leagues Cup that's kicking off not tonight, it kicked off yesterday, actually, but the Inter Miami's story of the Leagues Cup this year begins tonight. And so there's a lot to get into, but as always, first and foremost, how are we feeling, my friend?
I'm feeling good. Another tournament about to start. Yeah. I'm excited about that. Last tournament, unfortunately, we didn't do so well, but this is a time for us to return to our silverware winning ways. So I'm excited about that, and we've got one of the best back in our lineup, and I'm excited about that as well. So there's a lot to talk about. A lot of it's not a straightforward tournament for us coming up. There's quite a few things to talk about. So I'm excited, but I'm doing good. I'm doing good on a nice, beautiful Wednesday. It's you got tripped up there with the Monday, and I almost did too right now. Like, so used to going on Monday, and
and that's my fault this week for it, because I maybe people can hear it, maybe not. I'm a little under the weather. I've been dealing with a little bit of an illness, so if I say crazier things than normal this episode, everyone bear with me. But yeah, excited to get the show, and I knew we had the episode Wednesday, or this could be a long hour. I knew we had the game tonight, so I was like, this will be fun to intro into the game, right? Game's not until 7:30, so we can do a little bit of everything, which we will do. Hope we have a couple people back in the chat. Hey Ash, how's it going? Hoping we play more direct tonight. Yeah, that is something I agree with too. This is another good comment about Savetti needs to show up. I think that's a perfect way to segue into what we're going to start with, which is going to be recapping the last match, right? Messi returns. There were some goods and bads. It's funny because after however many wins, getting a draw feels like a loss, but it was great to see Messi return to action. As soon as we saw that he was going to be on the bench, we knew he was going to play, and we knew it was going to be early in the second half. But before that, we saw a lot of changes in the lineup, right? So for this game against Columbus, we saw again another start by Casemiro, who we'll talk about. Pinter starting, who deserves a hell of a lot of credit for his performance. Rios Novos back, which makes me think that Dane St. Clair may have lost his first place job. I'm not 100% sure. That's still to be determined. And then I want to talk about another, really, before we get to Messi, someone who I think deserves a lot of credit, and that is Caicedo. So as the Ecuadorian, why don't you set the floor and tell us a little bit about him? Because I'll be honest and say that I didn't know too much about him. I knew he was, obviously young. I knew it was his debut. But he came in and played center back and had a pretty, in my opinion, outstanding performance as a debut performance on defense. And yeah, so I think he deserved a little bit of flowers.
Yeah, so that back line looked a little different going into that game, and so did the team really in general, with no Messi there, with obviously no Tadeo Allende out for the season.
No Berterame yet.
No Berterame yet. Still waiting to see when he makes an appearance. And yeah, that's talking about the front and the back line. No Reguilón on that left side. You had Noah Allen. On that right side, you had Mura. And then where you're used to having Falcón alongside the Brazilian
Silva.
Mikael. You actually had
Frey, even, yeah.
Correct. Yeah, you actually had Flixio Caicedo, Ecuadorian kid, young, 18 years old, 6'4". I don't know if you can tell on TV, but
big boy.
He's quite the tall guy, and that's I think for a while now, that's a profile of a defender with that type of profile, something that Inter Miami needed. I know that we used to suffer very much from the set pieces, right?
Yeah.
Corner kicks and that sort of thing. And then when you had Maxi Falcón and Noah Allen there at center back, both of them about 5'2" each, it was really tough.
Should we talk about the AKA days though? We want to talk about back three.
Throw back to the OG days. But no, it's good to have a guy of his profile there. He's young, but he's got a lot of good experience. He played for Ecuador's under 15, under 17, and under 20 team, national team. He also got his first call-up May of 2025 by Sebastián Mecases, Ecuador's current coach, World Cup coach.
Oh yeah.
So he's got national team duty, meaning he plays well. He's been able to play with some of the best guys in Ecuador, and I thought he did a good job.
I thought he did a great job.
He was the second best ranked defender for that game, behind only
Noah Allen, who had that insane header, right?
Yeah,
who scored a goal.
On FOTMOB, he was at a 7.5. Caicedo 6.7. Oh no,
I mean,
sorry, the third best. Even Mura was ranked high, but he ranked a bit higher than Mikael. But he had some good plays. He found himself in the right positions. He put in a good effort, and I think that as time goes, he'll continue to get more confidence. But I really liked his play. Huh?
Can you remind me how old is he?
He's 18. He's 18 years old.
Yeah. And I had never seen him previously play, and it was his debut. And I noticed him not as because obviously I saw the name Caicedo, and I was like, I wonder if he's Ecuadorian. And then I just was watching it, and I'm like, I thought he was so solid. So I wanted to give him a shout out. But and we're gonna talk a little bit about, like we said, some of the young players that are stepping up in general. But starting with Messi, comes off the bench into a second half where it was I think it was interesting because Inter Miami in the first half got a phenomenal goal from Luis Suárez. Luis Suárez right now is just, I mean, we're going to talk a little bit about, the negative of that, which is that he will not be playing tonight and the next few games. But I don't know who this man thinks he is to still be at this age, to shoot a goal from there and to make it so perfectly, to have the cojones to do that, to have the confidence. That's one of the best strikers of the generation. There's just no question about it. And we're seeing Luis Suárez playing at a pretty high level. And for Inter Miami as an MLS team, and for the rest of this MLS season with potential supporter shield, and of course just wanting to be back-to-back MLS Cup champions coming up, I'm happy he's on my team. Pretty good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, our banner says El Regreso del 10, and even though we're talking about Suárez, it makes sense just because of the fact that this team, even before going into World Cup, was leaning heavily on Messi and both Suárez. Then Messi leaves, and over the last couple of games, Suárez has continued to be there and hold it down for the team as Messi comes back and gets his few minutes there. But now that Messi comes back, that was like an indestructible tandem. These guys were just wreaking havoc. Suárez having one of the best seasons he's had so far at Inter Miami. By the numbers, he's on pace to break his numbers previously. And Messi coming back from this World Cup, I feel like he's going to be, and it's crazy to say this because he played so well before going to the World Cup, but I mean, he may have just hit Super Saiyan level, and he's going to come back and connect with a on fire Suárez. I think it's going to be incredible to see him fully, fully integrated into the team. And Ashley talked about that goal. I mean, that goal by Luis Suárez, that just shows you his
that's nasty
not
work.
only his skill set, but his experience. The fact that he knows, just like Messi, who's always surveying, always looking around. Messi, you look at some of the replays and you always see him look left, look right. That's what Suárez does. He knew exactly the moment Yannick Bright, of course it had to be Yannick Bright,
who's been amazing,
that recovered the ball to lead to that play. Suárez already knew where the goalkeeper was, his positioning, that he was too far out, and right away he shot that, and it was just a beautiful and incredible goal.
100%, yeah. And then you in the first half, you see obviously Columbus Dens get a goal, and then Noah Allen going into the half with the freaking ripper of a header goes in to make it 2-1 going into half. Hell of a shot by him. I mean, that the body strength you have to be able to get that much power from that far. And there's even a shot of Messi on the bench when it was confirmed going, Noah. It's funny. He's like one short king to another. Like, that's the kind of goal you want to see. And so then that
I don't remember too much from Noah Allen as far as headers. Like, that is incredible to see that, because I mean, you see headers and then you see headers, and
That was
that,
like a
like you said,
ferocious, like from back,
yeah,
and like it
that
was
was
just yeah.
that
It's
was
like how
really good.
Berterame headers it
And I just want to
actually
say,
like
because you're talking about that first half, just wanted, and you
yeah.
mentioned it really, really briefly, but
Yeah.
that own goal by Casemiro in that first half, I
Yeah.
think it's honestly just bad luck. I mean, there's not much you can do there.
Yeah.
I think he had the right play. He got a foot on the ball, trying to avoid the cross. If that cross gets past him, it's potentially a goal there. So he did everything he can. It's just the way it caught his foot, the angle, and
Yeah.
it was just unfortunate. But that doesn't take anything away from
A brilliant performance again from him. He looks like he's been on this team for I can't remember an Inter Miami team that didn't have Casemiro on it, which is just so crazy. Like it sounds like an exaggeration, but that's just how magnificent he's like slotted in and fit into this team. And I mean, we'll see what it's going to look like tonight. But
Yeah.
I
I
really
think he's
like
still adjusting though. Like I do think since he's come in, and it's obviously a short span of games there, he's shown some brilliance, but I do think he's shown some struggle in trying to still find his place, and I think that's normal. Like I'll tell you, like even looking at the FOTMob scores here, he had a really low 5.5 score for this
goal,
game
though.
against Columbus, and obviously I think. Yeah, remember that's all algorithms. That own goal must have shot that down.
I wonder what his score was for the first game in Montreal.
In Montreal, I can look that up while you talk, and we can see what he did. Let me see.
Yeah, but I mean, seeing him
7.0,
Paul,
much better. So.
What was it?
7.0 against Montreal.
Well, having him, DePaul, and Bright play together was great. I think it may happen again tonight because there is no Suárez and there's no Bert there. No in the set. We'll see we'll see. We'll talk about that in a little bit. What we think it's going to look like, and it may even be announced by them, but I'm not sure. But I can already see that he's slotting in really well with both Yannick Bright, who's playing like a freaking maniac right now, and it will be really hard to bench, and DePaul, who slotted right back in and played the full 90, which was good to see. But so then we get into second half, and after about 10 minutes, Messi comes on the field, and within, I don't know if you know, his first touch of the game, he went and shot it. Basically, I guess it's not called this in soccer. I was gonna say baseline, basically, where he shot it from the on the goal line. Just try and score, and I mean, it would have been like a nasty. Like that's not. He's just feeling so much. Still, I think feeling himself so much, and has so much emotion, and energy from what he just did with Argentina. He played great, and so in the end, we were hunting for that third goal, didn't get it. Ended up being a draw. They got a late goal, in extra time, but overall. It was disappointing again, but I just thought like Messi is back, DePaul is back, but Messi is back. He's still looking as magnificent as he looked playing for Argentina a few weeks ago, and going to Leagues Cup, knowing that not that you wouldn't be anyway, but without having Luis Suárez by your side, but a tournament that many would expect Inter Miami to go very far in, if not win. I think he's ready to go, and seeing that him play for those 45 minutes, 35 minutes, he looked great, and he looked hungry. He looked ready to continue competing, and that's the most important part, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna need him for tonight. It's going to be tough, and it'll be interesting to see what lineup they come out with. But look, this team has relied heavily on Messi. They'll continue to rely heavily on Messi, like any team Messi plays for. And I think to have him playing at such a high level in this World Cup, it's nothing but a benefit for this Inter Miami team, especially when they're missing key players, right? If there was ever a time to put Inter Miami on his back, it's going to be tonight. So it's good timing to have him back and in good shape. And there's a reason why after World Cup, he didn't participate in All-Star weekend. There's a reason why he missed the game against Montreal. There's a reason why he only played about maybe 20 to 30 minutes against Columbus. It's to have him ready for tonight. So there's no excuses tonight in regards to him. And this is what he's been preparing for, and what he's been preparing for is to have him ready and in tip-top shape for today.
Totally. And I'm excited. And like you said, we already have a tournament after just finishing the biggest one, which was so great. And I'm excited. I'm really excited to see how it goes, and anything can happen. I mean, Vancouver lost last night. You know, and it's going to be, there's a lot of good teams playing right now in both MLS and in Liga MX. And so yeah, I'm excited. But, it says, oh, here's a good question. Is it true Messi was upset at the end of the game? I think he was more just like frustrated that they didn't get that third goal when it felt like they were really close a few times. And that it ended in a tie, not a win. I think he's also coming off of a very emotional few weeks, months, for him. I don't think he thought too deeply about like how Inter Miami played. You know what I mean? I think he was just probably just emotions and he's right now coming off of a really crazy period, and it's going to just take him a little bit to cool down. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I also, I mean, we can only guess why he was pissed, but
Yeah.
I think if he doesn't win, he's pissed. And
right. That's why he's the greatest of all time, because he has that
he has high expectations, right? Really high expectations. So whatever the particular reason was, it probably had something to do with them not winning.
Yeah.
And I think that goes to show you, like, even though they're missing quite a few key players, like his expectation is still that they should win. Like there's no excuses for him. Like they could be, down 6 guys and the rest are kids and subs off the bench, and he's still going to be pissed if they don't win. He always expects to win.
100%. And so does his partner in crime, one of his partners in crimes, who will not be there starting tonight, and that is Luis Suarez. So no pistolero, as it says here, 6-game ban after the bad vibe ending of Seattle last year. It's come back to haunt us because not only, we thought it would be okay. Oh, it's all right. We won't have Suarez. Like, no big deal. We have Tadeo Allende. We just signed Berterame. We have Silvetti. We have Messi. We have, etc. And he wasn't even starting. He didn't even start at the end of the season. Well, how things have changed, because now we're entering a tournament where Luis Suarez has, over the last 6 games, been outstanding, scoring goals, creating assists, being a true leader of the team on and off the field, and being a goal-scoring machine, a goal-creating machine. And with Allende out for the season with an injury, with Berterame, who obviously is coming off of a concussion and a scary injury last week, we would love to have him for this tournament, but we don't. And so a couple questions that comes out of it, and we'll talk about maybe in general who we think will play, because I see a couple questions here about that. Who fills the number 9 directly? Or do you think it's going to be a false 9 kind of situation with Messi? Because the options, it will heavily depend on if Berterame is available or not, right? That is really like the big thing, because if he's available, it's going to just be Berterame, Messi on the right, Silvetti on the left, I think, or something like that. Very simple. If he's not available, I think then that's when things get interesting, and there are a lot of options on the field. What do you think?
So from what I've seen, Berterame is not going to be available tonight versus San Luis.
Yeah,
Suárez isn't available.
Concussion protocols, I believe, something like that.
Probably, yeah. I mean, he's not available. Luis Suárez isn't available. You have no Tadeo Allende. I mean,
tough.
I honestly, I don't think you're gonna. I think that you just have to, at this point, play with a different formation. Is what he's gonna.
Who do you have available offensively? Like, who are then our options? Let's talk about them before you pick a special person that we're gonna be like, this is a direct swap of Luis Suarez. Let's say there isn't one, right? So who would be available? We obviously have Messi. We have Silvetti. We have Pinter, who put on a great show against Columbus, right? A really young kid who did a great job, I think, on the right. Who's available, and then Segovia, we have, I believe, is back and available. You have DePaul. You have Casemiro, who could move up front. You have David Ruiz. I'm just about now talking about, midfield and offense. So there's a lot of combinations possible, right, that you can see.
Honestly, because of the lack of options, I really do think it's a formation change. It's a 4-4-2.
A lot of options for lack of options. Yeah, true.
I don't even know what I said. Whatever is
it's
going
true.
on. But I think it's going to be a 4-4-2. I think it's going to be Messi up front with
Silvetti.
It'll be Messi up front with Silvetti, and then it'll be a midfield of Yannick Bright, Casemiro, De Paul, with Pinter playing also in the midfield. I mean, there's not much else. I think that you can do that would make sense. So it'll probably
Pinter
be that.
Can certainly progress the ball 100%. I thought he put on a great show on Tuesday, Main against. It was a lot of circumstances at play, but he's done a few appearances this season, right? And I remember he once had like what was an insane shot. Like that it didn't go in, but it was early in the season, but it was a wicked shot from outside the box. And you're like, oh, this kid feels it a little bit. And that's important, right? So I agree with you. I think that's going to be your front six. What about your back five? And I mean, including the goalie.
It's certainly going to be interesting what happens at goalkeeper. Like I feel like I can already tell what's going to happen.
Leslie wants to know.
But is St. Clair going to play at goalkeeper? Is it going to be Rocco? I think it's going to say a lot tonight about what he thinks going forward. Like this, Inter Miami wants to win this tournament. They really do, and we'll talk about that in one of the segments coming up about how important this tournament is and whether we should expect them to win it or not. But I honestly think it's going to be Rocco. I think it'll be Rocco. I think he's going to keep rolling with what he's felt comfortable with. I can't see St. Clair coming in without getting minutes fresh off into the first Leagues Cup game. And you're talking about 3 games. You have to get points. Like it's not, it's basically you need to get results right off of the bat. So I think it's going to be Rocco in the back. And then I think it's going to be the same exact back four that we saw against Columbus. I think it's Noah Allen on the left. I think it's Mura on the right. And Mikael with Caicedo. Probably be the exact same lineup we saw. And I think that should be that I think it looked good against Columbus. I still look at that Columbus game and think, there was bad luck on Casemiro, and then that free kick. How often are you going to see a free kick like that? That just, it's like, it's weird to say, but in football there's luck, and I just felt like luck was not on Inter Miami's side.
Yeah, it was a weird game after the weather delay. It was a weird game.
I wasn't concerned about the defense, is what I guess what I'm trying to get at. Like I saw Allen, Mikael, Caicedo, and Mura, and I wasn't like, oh man, we can't repeat.
But Ian Frey is available again. He was suspended, which is why he didn't play the last match, but he will be available. Yeah, it just came in about that. So does Ian Frey replace Caicedo, or does Caicedo stay and does Ian Frey replace Mura?
I think it can be either of what you just said, but it to me it's
Pep saying it right.
To me it says if it's Mura, I would like to see Caicedo in the middle. I think he did good. I think you need a tall defender.
I think him and Mikael worked well together for their first time, for sure.
But you agree he's always been better than Mura on that right hand side. I think
Ian Frey.
Ian Frey, yeah,
100%,
on that right side.
100%.
So I think
Mura hasn't played bad, but like in the last few games, rather, like he hasn't played as bad. Like I think he's played better than he did earlier in the season, but I still think Ian Frey is a better choice.
Yeah. So I'm going Caicedo still sticks around, and it's Mura that hits the bench for Ian Frey.
Apparently lineup is out. Let's see. Hold on one second. We'll both know in a second. And we're seeing, a couple different iterations of, I see Pep here saying it should be Silvetti, so a 4-3-3 instead of a 4-4-2. I think Messi's going to dictate how often Pinter goes up and how much he doesn't, honestly. So it's going to be probably a little bit of a mix of a 4-4-2 and a 4-3-3, just depending on where everyone is. But yeah, I think the only question is going to be Well, what about Segovia? Like, do you see a world where, because Silvetti didn't have a great game against Columbus when you kind of he felt like he was taken out of it a little bit? Could you maybe see Segovia play? Oh, right on the bench. Where's the okay? We need to see the lineup. Where's the lineup out? Because it's not on the Inter Miami Twitter. So I'll search while we do that. But while we wait and see what the lineup is, we've talked about it briefly. But there's gonna be there's been a lot of kids who have had to come and play, academy kids, young kids, from someone like Caicedo that we talked about. We talked about being there, Planbeck, who got that insane goal a couple weeks ago or last week, maybe. What are your thoughts about, to the point where Inter Miami, it's not just top heavy, right? It's not just the big names who come in and make a difference. The academy, Noah's goal, right? Like, the academy shows itself.
I think that this team does a good job of investing both in experience and investing in potential, and they've done a great job. And I think that when you want to be a club that's successful internationally and renowned nationally, internationally, and known everywhere, I think you need to focus on your academy, focus on bringing up the young guys. Just like you think about teams like Barcelona that are known for La Masia, right? And when you talk about Inter Miami, yeah, they have Caicedo, yes, they have De Paul and Messi and Suárez, but they also have kids that they've been giving a chance to and have grown within this team. We mentioned Caicedo, Pinter, Plembeck, Caicedo, 18 years old, Pinter, Plembeck, also guys from the academy. Talk about Noah Allen, Ian Frey. Like, this is a team that I think is going to be a team where not only do the vets want to come from Europe and play, but guys that want to be able to develop and have a future maybe in Europe and in other places will come over here because they know that they have a good system. And I think that that's great to see for Inter Miami, because they need that from both sides. You see what happened with Diego Gomez as well. Maybe not part of the academy, but a young guy that came and took a chance with Inter Miami. So all of this to say that these guys are doing a great job with the young kids. They're giving them minutes, and we're seeing what the academy is doing. I mean, Pinter playing great, Plembeck playing great, yeah. And I think when you have moments like this where you have guys that are injured, when you have guys that are suspended, that are unavailable, this is where some of that investment into these young guys also really helps, and you're able to reap what you sow, right? Because these guys are now logging in meaningful minutes, and it's not just like you're plugging them in and hoping something happens. They're actually giving you results. They're scoring for you. They're making plays. They're defending. So I'm really happy what Inter Miami has been able to do with the young cast on this team.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, I don't know if there's a lineup out or if we're getting mixed views or if it's somewhere else. Anyways,
I'm on Inter Miami's page, and it just came out 14 seconds ago. So
there we go. Okay,
Rios Novo, that's going to be on goalkeepers. You got Caicedo, Silva, Allen, and Frey. So it was Frey over Mura, like we were talking about.
Nice.
De Paul, Casemiro, Segovia, Bright. So instead of Pinter, you've got Segovia. You mentioned that.
No, instead of Silvetti.
Oh, Silvetti, sorry. Yeah. And then Messi and Pinter. So I think that's interesting. It's Pinter up front with Messi, and you don't have Silvetti up there.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I said it may because Segovia, because he didn't have a good performance on Saturday, Silvetti, and so maybe that it happens quick, and it kind of is. Maybe it was like he'll come in the second half, and maybe it'll be get something big out of him. I probably would have preferred Silvetti over Segovia, but we'll see. But yeah, and I think that's great that Caicedo earned a second start because he played great, and I liked him and Gael together.
This to me may be a frustrating game for those of us who like to see attacking football. I can see this. Not to say that they're gonna sit back on a low block and just hang from the crossbar or anything and just wait, but I mean, you talk about a midfield of De Paul, Casemiro, Segovia, Bray, and that's the wall of China right there, right? Like, that's a very formidable midfield, but
and it'll be
not
interesting
much,
to see which
not
of
much
them
attack.
play up, have permission to play up, right? Of
I
them,
know, but I
because
mean, you don't have some other than Messi. You don't have somebody with the profile, like an attacker's profile. Like, obviously the ball can move up and Segovia, but none of them have an attacker's profile other than Messi and Pinter up there. So I can see us possibly being a bit frustrated at this lineup and or what's on the field, and maybe them not being as aggressive as we want, but we'll see. And I think we can also see Hoyos maybe making some quick changes, right? If he goes into that at the beginning of the second half and he sees that the team really hasn't found chances, then we may see something where Silvetti comes in for probably Segovia, right? Or for
and Reguilon is on the bench, back from a little bit of injury,
yeah,
so maybe he gets minutes.
yeah. No, I mean,
Yeah.
this is could be true as well. Silvetti seems to have more impact off of the bench, anyways. So I hope it's not the case. What I think is going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a little bit less of an attacking game and it's more of us kind of just holding back a bit, touching and
Creating chances like on the
creating.
counters and
I'm
stuff.
just trying to see, because Messi's going to come back and try to gain possession of the ball. So who's going to be attacking in behind him? It's going to be
I think
Pinter.
I think
and
Pinter, he's got legs.
It'll be Pinter, it'll be Segovia, and probably De Paul. Or De Paul on that right side. It'll be Pinter on the left, and Segovia in the middle. I feel like it's going to be those three attacking in that way, and Messi underneath trying to serve the ball. So we'll see.
I mean, look, you gotta. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of optimism. I'm like, look, you don't, of the three starting number 9s you had going into the season, all 3 of them are unavailable. So I'm gonna see what that looks like and give a chance. I think there will still be offensive football. I think it will really depend on how Messi wants to how he wants to dictate the lanes.
I think Segovia is going to be more central, Pepto. Like I think on the left you're going to see Pinter. I think Segovia go down the middle, and I think it'll be the ball on the right and Messi behind. So I agree with you. Like Segovia has never looked well wide out.
That's why it's kind of a surprise to not see him, to see Silvetti in this type of game. But I think when a coach has a belief in a philosophy, if you put in 2 bad performances, you go on the bench. Like, you have to earn every minute you play. Could be true for him. I think to your point, Segovia will have a short leash. I think Pinter will have a short leash, and we'll have to wait and see. But it'll be an interesting game regardless. And it brings up the bigger question, which is, can Inter Miami win Leagues Cup, right? As you wrote here, unfinished business. 3-0 in the final from last year still stings against Seattle. It was a tough game, and we weren't ready for it. And then the aftermath now has led to us being back in this position with no Luis Suárez. So should Inter Miami still be expected to win, or will they? And do you think they feel sort of some of the burns from last season and want to avenge?
I think that this team is always expected to win any tournament that they go into. And I don't think the injuries and I don't think the suspensions, in this case, Luis Suárez, change any of those expectations. Now, what I do think is when we look back at whatever happens and how far they made it in this tournament, I think that at that point we can have the conversations as to whether the results and whether how far they went, how much some of these missing key players, again, like Suárez or like Tadeo Allende, really made a difference for them, right?
Right.
So I don't want to say from now that if they don't make it to the final or they don't make it to the semifinal that it's a failure. I'd rather talk about what we see on the pitch at the end of this tournament and then go based off of, what the different circumstances were surrounding the team to make those types of opinions. But at this point, I'll say that no matter what, like, this team was built and this team is expected to win every single tournament that they go into, other than maybe the FIFA Club World Cup, I think that's a little different. But when you talk about a Champions Cup, when you talk about a Leagues Cup, those sorts of tournaments, I think that there is always going to be an expectation on any team that has Messi on it to win that tournament, especially when you have guys that like Casemiro and De Paul alongside of Messi on this team. You have a Silvetti that has shown that he is an incredible player. You have a Yannick Bright that is an MLS All-Star on the team. Like there's still enough good players on this team where you're like, yeah, this team should win this tournament. And I'll say this tournament, it is interesting. It's a little different than we've seen it in the past. I was reading through some of the changes and the different rules, and they're going to play 3 games each, right? Each MLS team will play 3 games each. And what's interesting is the points that are awarded will then go into separate tables. There's an MLS table and a Liga MX.
Really? I didn't read this.
So they'll all get their points. They get 3 points, obviously, for a win, 1 point for a draw, 2 points for a win in a shootout, or 1 point for a loss in a shootout. And then those will all accumulate on their own league-specific tables. Then at the end of the 3 games, they go into a knockout round where the top 4 teams from each league table will face each other in a knockout round. And, there are some games that will be played in Mexico. None of those are going to be played by Miami. Miami will not be playing in Mexico. The only teams that will play in Mexico are going to be the Seattle Sounders that play against Toluca, San Diego that plays against Club America, Vancouver Whitecaps that plays against Tigres, and FC Dallas that plays against Toluca as well. So Inter Miami doesn't have to worry about having to play in Mexico. So that's a good thing as well for them.
That's true. Yeah, no, that's true.
Yeah. But I think the expectation is there. All that to say that
it's high stakes.
Yeah, I mean that's and when there's 3 games and you have to, but and that's, I mentioned the tables. That also shows it's not just about winning, but it's winning convincingly, because you're going to have as many points as you have. You're only going to go on to the next round if you're the top 4 in the MLS table. So you still have to score and hopefully win by a good margin. So that's also important. You can't have these lackluster games where you win 2-1, at the end of the day, because that may not be enough to make it through. I think there's 18 teams on each side. You got to be top 4 to make it to the knockout round. So you have to have really good games and score a lot.
Agreed. It should be fun, though. Well, you're right. Every game matters. Every minute matters. And that's what's exciting. That's what we like to watch and like to see, right? So I'm very excited for it. Any predictions for tonight? Sorry.
Because of the lineup that I see, and obviously us missing some key players, I'm going to go with a conservative win. I think this team can still win. I don't expect a 5-1. If we do, that's amazing. Can they do it always? Messi can do anything. He can score 4 goals for this team alone. But just I'm going to go a little bit conservative on this one, and I'm going to say that they're going to win this one 2-1.
2-1. Nice. Okay. I'm going to say I think we should, even though it's going to be a more defensive, it's not using as many attacking options as possible. I still think
I wouldn't say defensive. I don't think they're going to play defensive. They may, but I don't think they'll play defensive. I just don't think we'll see maybe a full-out attack. They'll be more conservative,
Yeah, so I understand that. I'm gonna get. I don't think they're gonna score, though. I really don't. So I'm gonna say 2-0 Inter Miami. Meaning I don't think San Luis is gonna score.
Okay.
So I'm gonna say Inter Miami. I think we got a goal from Messi, and then maybe a Casemiro header. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. We may see that. But at least a Messi goal.
Sure. Caicedo header, possibly.
Maybe it's a Paul header. I mean, who knows? There's lots of options. May see a great Pinter cross. I don't know. I think it'll be fun to watch, though, because we definitely don't know what's going to happen, right? There's a lot of players on the field that we're not used to seeing for Inter Miami, and that makes it exciting. This tournament's going to be exciting, where it's now going to be Inter Miami game is thick and fast between Leagues Cup, depending on how far we go, and then, of course, the next 4 months of the MLS season with 2 more trophies available. So it's exciting, and we're excited to be back. I'm super happy to be back. we have some certainties now in terms of the players that we'll have for the rest of the season. We know Hoyos is going to be the coach. And now it's about, watching Messi be great, which I like to do.
Yeah, this is going to be a messy game. It has to be. They need him in order to win this game. It has to be a messy game. It's either he's going to either have to assist multiple goals or score multiple goals, but we'll definitely see him shine in this one.
Totally.
So yeah, I think we both agree Inter Miami is going to win. We both think they're going to win, and we both think it's going to be maybe a bit more of a conservative game, but they got to deal with what they have at the end of the day, missing some players, but the expectation on this team is always going to be to win, especially if the number 10 Messi is on this team. But the game is about to start. I'm about to go get my popcorn, go get some food, sit down on the couch and watch the game. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us for another episode of Inter Miami. We're excited that you guys can be here and share this time with us. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. If you hit the little thumbs up on the video, that means more people can see it and the algorithms catch us. I don't know why they like the thumbs up. They just do. So you guys got to do it for us. And we really appreciate you guys tuning in. So for this episode of Messi & Co., Ashley, Gian, Vamos Inter Miami. We'll see you guys on the next one.